Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. As you can see, we have Foodtopia here, Foodtopian here today, and the team from there. Before we get started, obviously, I would appreciate if you guys can hit that like button to help them out and support their content that we're producing right now. And obviously, any questions, put them down as we go through and as we do a little bit of an overview, followed up with definitely some questions and answers. Obviously, if you'd like to also support me, you can hit that subscribe button. I'm not going to say no to that. So before we get right into Foodtopian, obviously, I'd like you guys to maybe just introduce yourselves to start with. Some people may have met you, some people may not. So if you want to just give a quick hi.
You go,
Sure,
Scott.
sure. I'll kick it off. So I'm Scott the Investor. I've been in crypto for quite a while. Only about 2.5 years ago, I jumped into DeFi. So really got into the DeFi space, started making some YouTube content. So many of you guys might have seen, my YouTube channel. I originally focused on Drip and my journey there, and then branched out to a lot of other protocols. Early on, I started in a lot of degen miners and stuff like that. Had some good wins and some tough losses, and just got really acclimated to the space, exactly how it works and what you should watch out for and all that type of stuff. So I'm a businessman in real life. So I run a couple businesses in a couple different venues. A lot of what I do is around marketing and the consulting thereof. And so I've got a good background on that side as far as standard business. And several months ago, decided to get into business with these guys, Unmade Sugar and Driptopian, who may jump on here in a second, and start up this protocol. So that's just a little bit about me.
Awesome. And Unmade Sugar.
Okay, right. Yeah. So I'm Unmade Sugar. Keith is my real name. I don't mind everyone knowing it. It's out there. So I'm basically my job. I'm a UI designer. So I was a photographer and graphics designer, and then when COVID hit, I just kind of, there was no photography. So I just started doing graphic and UI design. I started in the stock market, is where I had all my money, making ridiculously small amounts of money. So a friend of mine introduced me to Bitcoin just as it was starting to rally in the last bull run. So I moved a little bit of money across just to test the water, and made more money in a week than I'd made in 2 months in the stock market. So I basically decided to push all my money across and came into crypto. Started mucking about with some crypto projects, got into some degen, same as Scott. I got into a lot of miners back in the day, back the original baked bean miners and all that kind of stuff that was floating about. And then I decided to, photography wise, I decided I was doing more DeFi stuff and UI design than that. So I know a little bit about contract building and getting contracts and linking up contracts. So I went full-time UI design and DeFi about 6 months ago. Lee Driptopian had this idea, and he'd been bouncing about, the idea showed me, and I was like, well, you know what? I could do this. I could build this for you. And then obviously we got Scott as well to market, and then Scott, between us all, the three of us, it kind of turned into what you see today.
Awesome. And somebody's not wondering how quick you can get a delivery for us of pizza. So why I was excited to have you guys on here specifically, I guess, is I am excited when we have opportunities in IRL type stuff where we're bringing real life stuff to the table and offering opportunities for people to, I guess, in essence, crowdsource funding for something that you'd really need to be a larger scale investor to even have a chance at something like this, right? So this is what brings us to Foodtopian. So if you guys want to maybe give a little bit of an overarching kind of view of what that's all about, and then we can get into the nitty gritties.
Sure, absolutely. So Foodtopian was an idea that kind of came about from Driptopian a while back in his chat. He's a big foodie, and so he could talk forever about the different ingredients and the rising dough and all that type of stuff. So he started pouring all that stuff into his chat, and people kind of coined it a Foodtopian. And so it's really was just all around food. We've been toying with the idea for probably more than 6 months of starting this up. Like, hey, wouldn't it be interesting if we started an in real life business where we either did a restaurant or food trucks or whatever, and then we could somehow tie it back into crypto. So eventually, just the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't remember specifically what it was, but we just decided, why don't we just do it? Why don't we go through the motions to see what it would take for us to really get this done? Because we have good communities. We all have participated in the in real life business world in a different area. which is fantastic because I don't know Keith's world and I don't know Lee's world either. And so my world with the marketing and strategy and all that, that's really the side I handle. I can contribute something to them, and I can also contribute from overseas, right? So these guys are all based in the Midlands over in the UK, in England, and I'm over here in the US. And so how could we work a business together and, make it kind of a 3-tiered system and get this thing off the ground? So with our knowledge of crypto that we've been in, our knowledge of crowdfunding and how we could spin this thing up, and just using the power of the World Wide Web, we were able to start to chip away at this thing and see what the viability was. And so that was several months ago. We went out, and of course, we're a registered business out there. We've got business bank accounts, all that. We've done everything just like you normally would in real life business. We've done that all in the background. We just tied it into crypto, in that you can utilize really the DeFi space and the smart contracts that Keith has built to be able to invest in the company, and then, of course, get your profit back out and be involved in that. And like you said, normally you'd have to be some an accredited investor or something like that to even, get an opportunity to maybe invest in real life business. It's like this, right? You'd have to be able to prove your net worth or multiple years of income and all that. And you'd have to have a pretty good amount of capital, right? Nobody's going to be able to throw in $1,000 to a business venture. It just doesn't really happen in real life. So DeFi and crypto in general gives us the opportunity to do that, to get people involved that are in our communities and, around the globe, and invest in our real life business, which we think is pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah, no, and that's great. And that's what I want to see more of in this space. We're seeing it kind of creep up finally with legitimate people on camera. Thank you for that. Trying to actually do something real in the space, which is what it really needs to mature. And that's great to see more of this happening. And the more that we can bring it to light is what I want to see. So all in all, then you guys have a corporation all set up. Everything is run as a business. And then the funds are just being invested as opposed to a stock, I guess, in IRL, in a Ponzi-nomic version of its own type of way of investing. You guys have brought it onto the blockchain, and so you're able to raise the money that way and show through contracts that can't be manipulated who's got what share and what their earnings will be in it. So awesome.
Exactly.
Nice. And I guess the best thing to do actually is probably to pull up the app, which I'll pull up right now. And it is a gorgeous, fun little app. I took a look around, and I did see another AMA you guys were doing to kind of get a little bit of versed in it. And it looks like you guys are doing other things now to kind of evolve the earning opportunities for everybody. So I don't know where you want to go first, but I guess maybe doing a tour of the DApp is probably the best thing right now, just to kind of show everybody how the funds are being raised, how they're being used right now, because it sounds like you guys are doing some other stuff now in order to still earn a revenue while you're waiting to get the IRL stuff set up, which I think is also brilliant. I've seen it from a very few, but a couple of protocols before. And I think it's so important to be doing that because, you don't want the idle money sitting there. There's no point. We have such easy ways to put it somewhere. So did you want to talk to that, or do you want to bring me through to different spots in the app to take a look?
Let me walk you through it real quick and just give you the general basics. And then as we get to more of the technical details, I'll let Keith take over. But
sure.
As you can see on the dashboard here, just our cool little DApp that we've built. Obviously, it's part decentralized application, and then the smart contracts are locked and they do the paying out. It's part centralized because obviously we use some of those funds for the in real life business. But this is the DApp that we put together, and the UI. And Keith deserves all the credit for getting this thing together and getting the UI and everything all orchestrated, getting the graphics set in and everything. But we'll continue to improve obviously as we go. But this is version 2 that we were able to put together. But basically, what we decided to do right out the gate is we wanted to go into business, and it was either going to be brick and mortar restaurant businesses or food trucks. And we were just really trying to find the right opportunity. We originally put together the idea and said, okay, we've got a couple of locations of brick and mortar restaurants that we could pick up for cheap if we if we negotiate the deal right. And we went back and forth with some of those landlords, and some of them just weren't as easy enough to deal with. So we decided, okay, let's take the next most effective opportunity. And that was to move us into food trucks, which I think was a good idea, because we had a very specific strategy for food trucks. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. But what we decided to do is just use the first round of funding as a seed round, really just to make sure that we could purchase some trucks, get everything set up. You're able to purchase NFTs and then stake them to earn your yield. So this is just the main kind of part of the DApp. If you'll scroll down a little bit, you can see some of the NFTs there, just a little bit further up a little bit. It just
sorry, I did stop there, but I think there was lag for you.
Good, perfect. Okay. Yeah, there was just a little lag.
Yeah.
So as you can see here, some of these NFTs were sold out. And the basis for this original seed round was, hey, if you want to buy the fries, it was only like 0.1 BNB. You get 1% weekly up to 250% payout, right? You'll get that full 250% payout, but you get 1% weekly. Then if you jumped up to the pizza, that was 1.2% weekly, 1.4 on the burgers. Those are still for sale for a limited time. Keith, you'll have to let me know when those get sold out.
Yeah, I think there's about 50 left, but then there will be no more. We may do the whole 50, they may not, but there's not going to be any more than the 50 that are left, definitely.
Okay. So we've got those. We've also got the hot dogs, same thing. Those are going to sell out soon. And then we had what was called the meal deal, which was 20 BNB. And that one came with an element of profit sharing. And we had a ton of interest for that. Those obviously sold out. That's a big ticket item, but those sold out because people wanted to be really involved in the business and wanted to have a little bit of that profit sharing. So we thought that was interesting. You get a higher percentage weekly, and you got a little bit more of a percentage. Instead of 250, you got 275% ROI. So your money back plus 1.75. So pretty solid on the return. It's also, obviously it's guaranteed, it's locked in the system, and it just pays you out every day. You can claim as many times as you want. You can buy more. You can take the profits that you've earned in BNB and buy more NFTs. You really had the option to do whatever you wanted. But what we did is we just set up those NFTs. That was a seed round. We raised, 150K, something like that. And that allowed us to go out and buy our first trucks. So we have two different types of trucks. One is really a trailer, so it needs to be pulled by another vehicle, and it's pretty big. And that allows us to do food prep, cook pizzas out of it, all sorts of stuff. I wish Lee was here because he does it more justice than I do. But we've got that large food trailer that we can do a lot of different stuff out of, and we've gone through all the inspections and everything like that. So it was a long road to cut through all the red tape on the side of getting all the health inspections and all the certifications and all that stuff. Lee's constantly doing all the tests and everything, and the UK requires a lot of specifics. So anyway, all that stuff has been done. We've now gotten to the point where we're just waiting for them to call and come give us the final inspection before we can start serving food. And that should be any day now. Could be today, could be tomorrow. So we've got everything else done, electrical inspections and all the basic stuff. They've come out and they've done our dry run with us just to make sure we passed on everything, and had us fix a couple little things. The electrical was one of them. We had to have it run a slightly different way. And if you're familiar with business and the bureaucracy of getting permits and everything, you're familiar with all these extra steps you got to go through. But
you might as well be in politics almost at that point.
Absolutely. I mean, they got to get their money somehow, and they get it through permitting and inspections and all that type of stuff. So it's nonstop fees, and that's how it goes. But you got to know if you're going to run a business pretty much anywhere in Western countries, especially, you're going to jump through a lot of hoops. Yeah. So we've done all that.
Just on that, if you don't mind for a brief interruption, because just something came to mind, and I hopefully it's not putting you on the spot. But so if you're paying out those returns though, and the truck's not set up yet, is there support for you guys still to be putting the money you need into still building this business and pay out the returns to the investors?
Yep.
Yeah, we have. Keith, why don't you hit that, because we've got.
Okay, so obviously each NFT. So if we go with the one BNB NFT, so 75% of that went straight into the reward pool, which means it covered the rewards to pay out for the first 6 to 8 months without us making a single penny.
Okay.
The other little bit went into back-end lending, and then back-end lending is generating profit, which is also going straight into the reward pools.
Yeah. Perfect. And that's
Yeah.
awesome. And that's really what I was hoping for. And obviously, again, I think what I should have illustrated too is these are weekly. I don't know if I know we said it, but just to reiterate, it's weekly, not daily, like we normally see out of ROI dApps. So far more sustainable, of course. And yeah, like you said, you've already put aside the funds, so that's great. And now you've got the time that you need to build the business, because that does take, as you've already said, time and a lot of efforts and a lot of red tape and a lot of headaches. So you're dwelling through those. Okay, sorry, Scott, carry on.
No, you're totally fine.
Actually, before you carry on, should we pull Lee in?
Oh yeah, he jumped in, pull him up.
I'm gonna do that for a second and pull Lee in. Welcome, sir.
How are you doing? You right? Sound check. There
you go.
You
Welcome.
Good? Sound good, man.
Good.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm late. I'm stacked with food.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I guess quickly, and not to put you right on the spot, Lee, but if you want to maybe do a quick introduction of yourself, you actually came at the right time. We were just cusping the NFTs and then going on to the next phase of the project. So if you want to maybe do an intro, and then we can go back to it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us. My name's Lee, aka Driptopian. Started crypto straight into DeFi pretty much mid 2021. Met these legends whilst navigating the DeFi space, and always had a love for food, and decided that, you know, with some good advice and some good people around us, that we could maybe bridge the gap between a business, because I'm in business anyway in real life, and the DeFi space. And we you know, got it rocking, and here we are. So yeah.
There you go. And the pops in the background there, just hanging out.
Always got to have a fun cup up.
There you go. All right, so back to the dApp, I guess, and we'll pull that up. And so we've gone through the NFTs. So you wanted me to scroll down, I presume?
Well, so stay here for one more second to touch on what you said. We've always said from the beginning, like, hey, this isn't your general degen dApp, right? This thing isn't going away. And there's no way any in real life business, for the most part, could sustain, 1.7% daily for a really long period of time, right? It's just not really possible. You could certainly do that with trading and all that, but trading is an up and down deal. So any kind of guaranteed ROI like that is a slippery slope, as we've all seen. It can be sustained sometimes, but you're going to have ebbs and flows. So for us, when we ran the math on this and all of our financial models, we really wanted to pick something that was reasonable. Something that would still be enticing enough for you to get in, because it's way better than any rate you'd get in a traditional market. You're never going to get 1.5%, weekly in a traditional market, putting a small amount of capital into an in real life business. So we wanted to get the returns that were better than the traditional markets, but also be high enough at least to entice some of the degens out there that we've got in our communities to want to get in and do that. So that's why we chose those rates. It really is, I think we found about the perfect range for us that we can support, make sure people get paid out, make sure they feel like they're involved in the in real life business and everything. So that was kind of the goal around that. And then, like Keith said, we are doing some collateral rehypothecation, if you will, with some of the back end lending, so we can earn some additional dollars there. But we're in a really good financial position. We've got plenty of additional funds set aside in the rewards pool to pay this out. Plenty of runway. We've got enough. We've got really more than enough for where we're at in the business right now. We could go out and get another truck and expand. We just want to, I'm a big fan of, I like moving fast and expanding business and growing fast, but you got to grow at the right rate, right? It wouldn't make sense for us to go out and spend every dollar of capital that we have on new trucks when, we haven't started flipping burgers yet. Right. So we're very close to that, and from then we'll be expanding. So I was touching on the fact that we've got 2 trucks. Why don't I let Lee do some talking here? So I just explained a little bit about the trailer, but you could probably explain it better than I do. And then if you want to talk about the turbo truck.
Yeah, and please feel free to interrupt, because when I start, that's it. It's like an AMA by me. But yeah.
AMAs, they usually tend to go a little long, and sometimes you want to try and keep them short to keep everybody's attention span, but go for it.
So in summary, we've got a trailer. Obviously, it needs to be pulled by another vehicle. It's a rather large trailer, because we wanted to incorporate not only the sort of fast food business, but the catering side of things. So it's a competent multi-purpose unit that can be utilized for all sorts of revenue streams, whether it just be flipping burgers for a certain event, whether it be delivery services such as Uber Eats, Just Eat in the UK, Deliveroo, and people that order online, and we can just get the drivers in and ship them out. Also, what its main purpose is for the moment is to prepare the food for our smaller truck. In the UK, they're called jiffy trucks or little sandwich vans. We'll get an image. I think you've got one, Scott, to show. It's basically a smaller van that's very popular in the UK we call it turbo truck because you load it up. It's got an oven, it's got a refrigerator, and it's got some dry storage for crisps and chocolates and, mints and stuff like that. And also the oven keeps it at a food safe temperature for the regulations and legislation in the United Kingdom. And the refrigerated unit obviously keeps the food that needs to be kept cool to the same legislation. Side note, I've just finished my final food hygiene certificate, which it took me 16 hours to complete over a period of time. Finished it, which is what I was doing while I was late to this. Had to finish my exam. Obviously passed it with flying colours, got the certificate, which is cool.
Well,
which allows me to train people who we may employ to help us with the journey. So that smaller truck that Scott just showed you is the turbo truck. That is designed to be filled up in the morning around 5 a.m. and then we drive it to industrial estates, office complexes, anywhere that we can stop at the side of the road. We don't need what's called a peddler's license because we've got our food business license. We can turn up anywhere, open it up, and you could probably do about 25 customers in 15 minutes at each stop, whether it be an office complex or a garage or whatever it is.
I've seen these all the time there.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. So we basically are going to use the main trailer, which cuts out the middleman when it comes to some people who run these trucks actually buy the food pre-prepared. Well, what we've done is decided to prep everything, which is what I've been doing for 3 months. We can prep everything at source from the trailer, fill up the turbo truck, and away we go. And once this little truck is back, which is usually between 2-3 p.m., I've actually got a driver for this now, so it's a little bit different because we've got someone who can drive that while I'm doing the delivery services. Nice. So we've basically, and I'm going to drop it right now. We can trade as of right now, like today. It's not going to be in 2 weeks. Not going to be in one. We're not going to do it until Monday. Scott doesn't even know this because it happened while I was in the background. Sorry, Scott. But yeah. So, long story short, the Environmental Health and the Food Standards Agency, I've been in touch with, because each council is different. Some you have to be registered, this and that, the other. I've had a call today who's confirmed saying they're not going to do a planned inspection. They're just going to turn up as and when. And that's not going to prevent us from trading. So I've had the go ahead, got the manager to tell me today. Because Stafford, where I live, in Staffordshire, in England, there's 2 different authorities. Literally, the borderline is in my back garden, pretty much. So you've got to be careful which one is the governing body. So I've spoke to the correct person. He's told me that I was misinformed by the other council. Get out there and start selling. So as of Monday, I'm out and done. So, that's a little bit of well, it's more than a little bit. That is the alpha. Nice. We've got the real utilities there now. Done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. So I guess, do we want to go back to the website then?
Yep. Let's do that.
Let's pull that up. There we go. So right now, obviously, these guys people have access to getting involved in is with those 2 NFTs, and I think there's more, but I'll let you carry on. Assuming Scott.
For sure, yeah. So those 2 NFTs are available right now. If you want to buy them, you just stake them right here on the site, and then you come in periodically and you click claim rewards, and that'll put the BNB right in your wallet. And like I said, you can claim daily, you can claim weekly, you can let it build up for a couple months and give yourself a good payday. So you've got the options to do that there. Nice. And then go ahead and scroll down. Let's come back to the food token because we're going to use the food token in a couple different applications, and we'll chat about that a little bit. So what we've got ourselves in a position where apparently we can serve food right now, but Lee's lazy, so he's going to wait till Monday. And then, and we've got some additional capital ready. We've got enough money in the rewards pool. We're pretty much set up to do business right now and start scaling. But there is we've got the food trailer, which we can serve food out of. We can also do a delivery service out of, which we'll talk more about what our unique, our unique offer is and why we think we'll succeed specifically in this area in the Midlands during the time range we're going to be serving in a second. But there, we've got the trailer that we can deliver food from, and we can sell food out of and prep food for maybe to fill up the turbo truck. And we've got the turbo truck that can go out. Now, we're going to continue to expand on those, do some additional turbo trucks, and try to figure out exactly what we're going to utilize and how long we're going to utilize the trailer, because at some point our food prep is going to be too big and we're going to have to get a different facility. So that's kind of all in the works. Luckily, we got a killer deal on the trailer. So at the time we outgrow it, it's worth more than we paid for it. And so we're going to be in a really good position to upgrade our facility when that happens. But those only allow us to really operate in those two areas, as far as the turbo truck really delivering and making its way around, and then us delivering and food prepping out of the trailer. And what we decided we needed was to offer the next stage of our business plan, really. And since people were so interested in the meal deal and the profit share that went along with it, we decided to spin up something new we're calling the saucepans. So saucepans are just individual raises. The first one is the Mega Truck saucepan, and the second one is the Spain saucepan. So the Mega Truck is what it sounds like. It's a mega food truck that allows us access to venues that we cannot get with our normal trailers that we have now. You have to have something bigger, better, and a very unique proposition to get into a lot of these events, and they make killer money. So in order to do that, we need to get a very specific vehicle to get in there. In the Spain saucepan, we have an individual that's very close to us that will be running this restaurant down in Spain. It's very cost effective. We found, a unique proposition there that we feel like we can add value. For the time being, what we're focusing on, what we're just now putting the focus on, we haven't really done too many AMAs lately because we've been trying to make sure we get to sell food and we don't want to put the cart before the horse, so to speak. Yep. So now what our initial push is to get the Mega Truck saucepan lit up. So who wants to hit this one? Keith or Lee? You want to hit how the saucepans work, kind of what we're doing there, and then talk a little bit about why the Mega Trucks the thing that we got to do.
Yeah, obviously, Keith, you can follow on because of the event side, but obviously, as we said, the turbo truck is designed to be a local vehicle. Mega Truck, as Scott said, is basically the event situation in the United Kingdom or England and Wales more so. If you want to trade at one of the big, high volume, high profit, high turnover events, you have to show up with something that is a little bit different. It doesn't have to be like a $200,000 truck, but it has to be something that is different. Now, everything that we've researched for months and months and months, if you need it to be ready to go, the gas is certified, the electric is certified, and it's ready to roll. If you got inspected the second that you bought it, obviously, you're going up in money and money and money. So this is kind of the price of an asset that we need to be able to trade at a high-end event. Some of these events, I mean, Keith will touch on this, that, they're taking £10,000 per day, which is near $13,000-ish, something like that. Yeah. And they're there for 3 or 4 days. And also, we're not just looking at targeting the massive high-volume events. These kind of trucks can also do the village fetes, the fairs, the places that, the food festivals and farmers markets. So it's always got an angle to generate money. And the reason that we've done it this way is because people were so interested in the meal deal. We were getting messages saying, well, I'd still like profit share, but you've sold out. So Keith will go on to explain how the DAP is set up, but we will be able to offer a profit sharing model based on that particular asset, whether it be the Mega Truck or indeed the Spain saucepan, which is another amazing opportunity because, like Scott said last time, I don't think we are sharing yet who is going to be doing that, but we've got a contact in Spain that will be more than likely on camera at some point serving food and drinks in, Costa Brava or Costa Blanca in the south of Spain. So Pretty
Nice.
cool. It's a cool thing.
Keith, you're up.
Yeah, right. So the way this works is you can get in for as little as $1. So let me just get it up on a big screen so I can see it at the same time as I'm saying it to you. Right. So it's $1 to get in. Each dollar you put in gets you a 0.0001% profit share. It obviously doesn't sound like a crazy amount of money, but the plan is that you DCA your way into this. So you put in $1 here, $1 there as you've got it. You'll get. So basically, if you put in, like the example says there, $12,500, you'll get 1% of all the profit that this mega truck makes. So like if it's at an event and it's making silly money, like Lee touched on, like I said at the beginning, I started life as a photographer and I was an event photographer. So I've got a lot of like ins already. I know quite a lot of these big events that I've already like reached out to, and they've been like, yeah, you get us the right kind of truck and we'll give you a spot at this event. And with the, it's 3 days and it's going to be a lot of money. But also, so the plan is you'll put in, so say you put in $1,000, you will get your $1,000 back. And plus you'll get your profit share. So you'll get your $1,000 back, which will get you, my maths, I have to do this quick now, 0.1% of the profit share. I think I've got that right. Plus you'll get your ROI back as well, plus a little bit more on top. So you're helping us like move forward a lot quicker. But also feeling like you're part of the business because you've bought into this truck, therefore you're getting a percentage of the profits. The reason it seems like a few people have said, why is it 0.0001? Obviously, we can't give away too much of the profits because it's a real life business, so it needs to run as a real life business. So, there'll be a good percentage of profits given out by these that people can go. Lee, do you want to touch on the over 20K? Because that was your idea. So basically clearing up
what Keith said, if in the example, if you spend $12,500, that doesn't mean it's a minimum. Minimum is $1.
Yeah.
But the example is spend $12,500 and you'll receive 1% a week, which is your ROI. We will pay that every single week. You can claim once a week. Plus, you will get 1.25% of the profits of that asset. So not only are you receiving your profit every single week, when we post our pre-monthly profit, so for instance, this month you would get paid for June's profit on that particular asset. And whatever your percentage is, so 25 grand would be 2.5% of our monthly profit. If we make 10 grand, you get $250 extra on top of your weekly 1% ROI. That's up to an investment of $19,999. Purely because once you go past the $20,000 mark, instead of receiving the ROI for a period of 120 weeks, if you scroll down, you'll see the extra bonuses that you get.
Okay.
There you go. So if you deposit the 20,000, so you'll get your normal ROI of 1% for 150 weeks plus your profit share. So anything previous to 20,000, you get 120 weeks, but that little bit extra gets you 150 weeks, which is just under 3 years worth of 1% plus your profit sharing. And the reason we've done that is purely because of the people that really are desperate to have a part of our business. And the way that you do it is you can see the buy one USDT there. That gives you $1 worth of the saucepan. And it's capped at 125 for both. And the way to do it is you literally just buy it, confirm in your wallet, and you can select one USD up to as many as that's left in the pool. So it's super simple to buy and be an investor in there. And you can see your calculations on the side in the calculator, not calculator, like your, DAP stats,
that populates live as soon as you stop buying. That will populate live what you're going to be getting and earning every single week.
Okay, and same kind of thing, I guess, as the NFTs. You'll set some money aside to cover the weekly ROIs on them for a little while, and then go from there. With that, I guess the 150 days or the 125 days, is that your ROI part, and then you still get the percentage afterwards, or are we expecting that's kind of the life span of these? Or does the what I'm trying to say is, are you getting the 1% weekly for that that's for that limited amount of time, but then are you still getting the plus 1.25 afterwards, I guess?
No, the profit share ends at the same time as your period ends as well. However, there is going to be something that we're working on where these timelines could be extended, but we've got to do the math based on our turnover and profit, because we want people to be on this journey with us and for it not to end. And there's going to be a way of extending that with a golden key. But as it stands right now, you know, if you're making 6-7 grand a month with us, we've got to make sure that the business stays sustainable, as does the DeFi side. So as it stands, yes, it ends with your NFT or your USDT buys in the pools and pans, but there is things on the roadmap, and we're moving that fast now. Like I said, Scott didn't even know that we were ready to sell food. I feel bad now.
It's a great place to announce it. I have nothing wrong with that. And along with that, I guess then, and I guess the idea behind that, and kind of to bring that home, is obviously there's going to be possibly repairs at that point. There's upkeep. There's different expenses that maybe. Are you guys setting money aside for that, or is that again what your purpose is of for instance, the key or whatever, where you'd use those funds then to do what you need to keep the ROI going for people?
Yeah, there's probably always going to be a pool there to assist with the maintaining of the business, but because it's a real life business, we have factored in that maintenance, repairs, you know, that if the turbo truck needs a tire that pops, the business is going to pay for that itself. We don't expect to just raise money from people to pay for our business whilst, you know, we're earning money at the same time. So the business itself, and the good thing about the way we've done it, being an actual registered business in the United Kingdom, is that we have our own accountability when it comes to looking after the business ourselves. It's not just down to DeFi investors to keep putting money in. We want to earn money and pay money out and be as transparent as we possibly can every single day of this business being open. So, yeah.
And again, like we said from the beginning, it's like we're certified investors. We have our portion of it, which let's say we own 50% of the business as a whole as crowdfunded. 50% is owned by you guys, and then there's still technically that part of running capital that all gets taken out before those profits get generated. So I totally get that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, standard operating expenses. Anything we know is upcoming, we'll utilize as CapEx. But all the standard stuff, month in and month out, you know, we're prepared for standard operating expenses. We'll have an accountant working on this. Of course, we'll have fees. It'll be run exactly like a normal business would.
Yeah, P&Ls, all that.
In our eyes, our accountant yesterday, by the way. That's all sorted.
Yeah, that's all sorted. Yeah, we're completely good to go. Payroll's on, accountants on, public liability insurance is being set up. Tomorrow, we're just waiting for Lee to get the go ahead to start trading, ready to set that up. But that's ready to go. We just didn't want to press the button on it until Lee was ready to start trading. So yeah, everything's ready to go. And obviously now Lee can start trading. It's just a matter of getting him out there and getting him serving food.
Too bad I didn't live out there and come make my video stream of purchasing the first burger.
Right. That'd be awesome.
Brilliant. All right. And so I don't want to miss out, because obviously we're getting to the 40-minute mark. I don't want to go too crazy here, but I do want to make sure we get all the facts out. So what's the next kind of thing? Is there anything else? So we have the saucepans, we have obviously NFTs. Is there anything else we wanted to make sure we get through?
If you head up to the food section.
There we go. Food token.
Okay. So the food token is, so obviously most businesses have a loyalty token, you know, where you can, so like Lee can serve, and they can there's going to be an app. I'm building an app in the background now, where there's going to be a loyalty token and they can use it. But we want to bridge people into crypto. So we've also created the same token on the blockchain. So people are going to be able to cash in their loyalty tokens into a crypto token,
cool,
which is a food token. We're going to set up videos.
Sorry to cut you off, but basically, like a loyalty program like you'd have anywhere, Subway or McDonald's or whatever, you purchase so many, you're really tallying those points up, and then you get some free food or whatever. We're just bridging the gap between crypto. So you'll earn those in our loyalty tokens and then be able to spend them to get a discount, or we've got some other cool stuff going on, just to clarify that.
To clarify that a little more. So when I'm getting points at your establishment, I'm actually getting tokens on the blockchain as opposed to getting points on a card. Is that correct?
No. So it's going to be points on a card, and then you can either, so say this is just a number, say 100 points gets you a free burger. You can either use those 100 points to get a free burger, or convert those 100 points into the same value in the food token, and then the real life business will then take the hit that the burger that it would have given away for free, that money will then get put into the blockchain to buy that person the tokens. So there's no like sell pressure, it buys them, and then they're then in the ecosystem. There is now, you can stake your food tokens here to win more food tokens to stake, but this is about to be changed, because if you go to the top, I've actually put it on here for this AMA, there's a section at the top called farms, right at the very top, on the top bar at the end. If you click on that, it'll open in a new
tab. But I'll have to pull it over. Give me a second.
Yeah, it'll open up in a new tab.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it back over. There we go.
Yeah, also,
Right,
before we do that token, there's also a way back out. So once we've bridged the person from the loyalty at the van and they've got the food tokens, there's also a way where they can redeem them, and we will burn the tokens from supply, and then they can get the free burger or pizza at the other end. So we will burn the food tokens from supply. So it's not just bridging people in. There's also a way that they can feel that they've got some value in real life by redeeming them against food or drinks on each van, which the app will take them all through. So it's like a bridging into crypto, but also feeling like they got some value on the other end.
So just to clarify on that one too, I'm wondering, so can I, let's say I go and visit out there and I go to decide I want to go and visit you guys for food. I could technically buy the food token on the blockchain, convert it, and then go buy food and not even have to pay cash.
That's the idea. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Sorry, go ahead on the farms then.
Okay, yeah, so this is new. So if we go to the pools first, so if you click on the little pools tab on the other side, go all the way across.
All the way across.
Yeah, no, stay where you are. It says farms and pools.
Cool.
That's it.
There we are. Sorry, I got it.
Right. So to
Very
start
cool
with,
design. Just took me a second.
These are going to open first. So we're letting people just store their crypto on here. So if you've got some, BNB or BUSD, you can store it on here and earn food tokens, which, like we just said, you could realistically have a load of BNB, store it on here, build up a value of food tokens, harvest them, and then go to, if you're like in the UK, you could then go to the food truck and then use those tokens that you've earned to go and get a burger.
So I'm staking for all my food needs.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So
awesome.
So this is what this is going to be, and then the plan after this. So then this will open to start when people start like generating food and getting food tokens from what they put in. The ROI, the APR is it's not fixed, so it depends on the TVL of the pool. Obviously, as the more TVLs go in, it's going to obviously. I don't want to mint any more food tokens. I only want to, there's 500 million in supply, and that's it. They don't want to be minting anymore. So then hopefully then they'll either use their food tokens to in the real life business, or if they can't, if you pop back over to farms, we've got here where they can create LP pairs. So then they'll have a load of food tokens. So then they can, and these are going to be based off the Pancake Swap V3 pools, staking pools. So they can create the LP. They'll create the LP within Pancake Swap. There's going to be a link of how to do it on here. They can then come back here, stake them, and then they'll earn. So if they've done food BUSD, they'll be earning then BUSD in rewards and still earning food tokens in rewards. So they're obviously earning again. And then there's a 3% deposit fee and a 5% withdrawal fee. All the food that's made from that deposit and withdrawal fee is just going to get burnt. So there'll be a constant burning of food. So even though this farm's creating food by people staking, there's going to be a burn mechanism constantly burning it in the background as well.
Nice. And so my last question on all of that is, if I'm earning those food tokens, can I then somehow bring them and turn them into putting into the actual investment of the business?
That's something. Yeah. Well, we could.
Saucepan or whatever.
Yeah, but if we could, because it's on the cards to be able to do it, because there's nothing to stop us doing something like that. We'll just have to check on the obviously the buy and burn, because if you're using the food tokens, we've then got to sell those food tokens when we come to buy the trucks. Yeah, so it creates sell pressure, which I'm trying to not create too much sell pressure. So it'll probably stay in USDT.
Indirectly, though, yeah, absolutely. You're basically just converting the food tokens to USDT and then staking them for saucepan or whatever. So it's definitely possible, but like you said, we want to try to limit sell pressure just to try to keep that token price up, because eventually with the burn mechanism, we could see that increasing, and then a lot of people really want to get involved in the token outside of all the other benefits of being in the Foodtopian platform. They just want to buy the food token as a speculative investment, thinking it's going to go up.
Awesome. Well, that's really neat. And it's kind of neat how this, even from when I first met you, Scott, and started learning about your protocol, even the last few weeks, I guess there's been quite an evolution for you guys, which is, it's quite nice to see. And the fact that you're adapting and creating other opportunities for people to get in. So that's amazing. Awesome.
Yeah, we've been wanting to continue developing, and I've had to pump the brakes on these guys a few times. Like they come up with some killer ideas and start getting them in play, and sometimes I got to slow them down a little bit. Like, fantastic idea, but let's talk again in 30 days where we can really make that come to fruition.
Well, you also don't want everybody spreading their money out too thin in the ecosystem when it hasn't built up too much base yet. So
very true. Awesome. Very true.
Awesome. And I see the food token is live. So is this is not live yet, or is it about to be live, you're saying?
The food token's live. The farms the farms I'm building this week. So this UI I finished literally today, so I could get it up on this AMA. So the contracts are written for the pools. The farm contracts are the Pancake Swap V3 token pools. So it's just a matter of migrating our LPs over into pools. So yeah, it's not. I plan to have it live. If all goes well, it'll be live. It should be live by, I'm going to say, end of next week, maybe the beginning of the week after, but it's not going to be long.
Nice. Awesome. And I see Foodtopian putting his own comments out there. You're not looking forward to waking up at 4 a.m.? What's wrong with that?
Well, to be fair,
awesome.
I've had the luxury of sleeping until 7 for the last few weeks. And I said to the lads, it's going to be a time where there's no late AMAs. There's no keeping up with EST and PST. And that starts from Sunday night. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. It's all for the better good.
All
Plus
for the greater good.
So, yeah.
Awesome. I'm just going to back up there and go to the app. So if anybody else has any other questions, I'm not seeing a whole lot, but I do appreciate, I think we've got a lot of content in there in a pretty short period of time. So I appreciate that. Is there anything else you guys want to make sure we touch on before we close up?
Yeah, I just want to, and these guys may have something too, but I just want to make sure that I summarize it, because as we go down each rabbit hole, I think sometimes people get a little confused. Like, how do I get in? Like, now I'm thinking about the food truck or whatever. There's just a couple different ways to get in, right? The business concept is pretty easy for everyone to understand. We just started a food truck business. We raised the capital from crypto, and the people we raised the capital from, our investors, we paid them back in crypto. So really, really standard. You want to put some BNB in and be part of the growth of the company, then you can do it, and you'll get it back being paid out in BNB, and you'll get a solid ROI from especially considering what the standards are. Most in real life businesses aren't profitable for at least 2 years. Restaurants sometimes are for you to get involved in the business is easy. You can do one of two things. You can scroll down and purchase an NFT if you want to. You can purchase one right now for either 1 BNB or 5 BNB, depending on what kind of payouts you want weekly. Obviously, the more expensive ones pay more per week, so you get your money back a little bit faster. And then you can come in here and just claim your rewards whenever. So if you want to earn some BNB over the next little while, that's a good option to do. If you want some profit sharing, you can take advantage of our new initiative for capital raise, and that is the saucepans. As soon as we get to maxing out one of these pools, and in this case, the mega truck, I think, is the one that we're pushing for a little bit faster, because we've got a way that we can integrate it immediately. But if you want to invest in that one, you can invest as little as $1 or as much as 123,000 if you have that sitting around. But that's going to give you, of course, a different a ratio of what your ROI is, because you're getting that additional profit sharing, plus you're getting that 1% weekly. So very solid investment there as well. It just depends on which one you want to get into, but that's really how you get in if you want to actually invest and be part of it. Eventually, we'll have another initiative we want to do, and we'll start up another saucepan. And we can have some fun with this. We can pin the mega truck against the Spain saucepan, and you can, pick your team, and we can kind of see who's generating the most profit or whatever. Obviously, we're going to do everything we can to make these as profitable as possible. But I think it'll be fun to get the community involved and all that. But that's the basic idea. We're going to continue to expand as we go. We're now cleared to start serving food. So the real in-life revenue outside of the collateral rehypothecation is live, and we can actually start generating some income and start pumping this thing. and it'll be great because we can share live content of everything we're doing. A lot of these in real life businesses, they're working in the background, and some of them really are, but you don't know it because it's real tough to film that type of content if you closing deals, or even some of the trading's pretty ambiguous. With us, we're going to have live shots of us flipping burgers, and that would be a pretty elaborate thing to fake, you know what I mean?
Stage. Yeah. Awesome. And I guess along with that, actually, and I meant to mention it earlier, is I see an opportunity here to kind of almost, it's not, I wouldn't want to see it go franchise, so to speak, but it could grow quite large and we all get to be part franchise owners of all these things as we grow. And then there's a network, and it could be, I can see it being not a McDonald's, but like that, but better, in the sense that the food quality would be better. All this other stuff would be better. What was Lee getting a little bit riled up there? I mean it in a positive quality way.
It's on the roadmap. So
yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah, we obviously we're not looking to be the next McDonald's or Subway now. However, there has been serious people who've reached out to say, I'm in Las Vegas. Is it possible I could do this? I'm in Thailand. Could you buy us, this car? These are trusted people, not just people saying, send me a food business, and we'll wear your logo. So obviously franchising is a little bit more difficult when it comes to the licensing laws. However, the more people, we've got 6 people who are ready to maybe do something. So absolutely fair point, and a very, very good point. So thanks for bringing that up. Definitely on the roadmap. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's what I can hope to see, is the growth opportunities, and it gives hopefully more people more validity into trying to get into this, or at least dipping their toes in to start with. So, and you make it really easy at one USDT. I mean, you can't get any easier than that. And even your pools, to being able to just put in something and get something in return. I mean, yeah, no, I like it. Awesome. Sorry, carry on. Made Sugar, do you have anything else? Or Keith, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, we've pretty much, covered everything we want to say, and I can't think of anything else more. Like I said, we've covered the DAP, we've covered everything there, and it's like you've said, it's as little as $1, and you can, get in, just pop, if you just want to dip your toes in and see what it's about, and then slowly like DCA in. There's no, it's not like you put $1 in, then that's it. You can't put any more in. Just, we've all got crypto dust floating around, your dollar here and there. It's, you could just like, throw that in and see where it goes. But no, it's a legitimate business, like we said. All 3 of us are very much all in on this. Where we're all shareholders in the business. We've all got an equal share in the business, the real life business. Like I said, we've got accountants, we've got public liability. This is very much been done, by the book.
Yeah, you guys have skin in the game, which is good.
Yeah, and it's we want it to succeed. We want like you said, we want a franchise model in the future. We want to be having to get a premises to hold all of the food trucks that we managed to buy and have running and stuff. So yeah, it's good to come along for the ride if you can.
Very cool. And I've heard, Lee, I've heard you talk about some food on one of the other ones I think I saw you on, and obviously you're a foodie. And I one thing I don't think we touched on that I think I just maybe want to highlight quickly is you guys have a lot of ideas for the foods and making sure they're very unique and very plays on the everyday, I guess, if you will, is what I think I got out of the one conversation that I heard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Lee, I'd say
there are staples.
I'd say hit the food. Sorry to cut you off. I'd say hit the food and our kind of perspective on what we need to do to be a little different, but still fit inside, close to the box anyway. And then I'd also say quickly hit our unique selling point in that we are it's a vacuum there, and there's not really anyone serving food in the time frames and everything that we need them to. So we're one of the few options that's even available in that area. And this is why we decided to, hit the restaurant business in that area.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So on that last point, that's probably best to bring up first. There's a certain time of day in this catchment area of 300 and some thousand people, individuals, residential, and 5,000 to 7,000 small businesses, where anything between sort of 12 p.m. midday and 5 p.m., where you've got the schools that are coming out, the dinner time menu, there is such a limited menu. If I went on to the delivery service, Just Eat or Uber Eats or Deliveroo tomorrow at 12 o'clock, I've got the choice of Papa John's, Domino's, Subway, 3 McDonald's, or a vegan calf. That's it. So I have to travel to get an English breakfast, your bacon, sausage, eggs, baked beans, hash browns, and fried bread. There is nowhere. I have to travel. So obviously that is such a basic staple of an English morning. You can't get it. And it's called an all-day breakfast as well for a reason. You can't get it. And then obviously the school time, the market research we did, the moms and dads and parents of these kids coming out from school who are starving hungry, that's the only choice they have. And once you've had Subway twice and Domino's twice in the week, you ain't ordering Domino's at £75, which is nearly $100 for 3 pizzas and 2 boxes of chicken wings at the moment in the United Kingdom. That's the price you pay. So we're obviously going to provide a different menu, which taps into the other point Scott was making. We do have your standard stuff that people just want because people don't like change. Have to give them what they want. But there's also additionals where we're going to be serving some, more exotic Mediterranean foods and some of the Americanisms that people are desperate for over here, like Philly cheesesteaks and the Italian double dip sandwich, with collard greens and stuff like that, New Orleans and these kind of things. We're going to add that to the menu because the market research has shown that people want it, because the popularity of Man versus Food that was aired in America, Diners, Drive-ins and Dives with Guy Fieri, people are after that they want that wholesome, big food that you can't really get, because if you order something here, for instance, a burger, it's like, it's this big, quarter pounder max. They want the maximum. So we're going to do all that. We've got the kids menu and we're doing specials, i.e. Mexican night. We're going to do Indian night, Chinese, Thai, Brazilian barbecue, all these things that you can't get at all in this county. We're going to try it out. The market research tells us they want it, so we're going to serve it. And then, we're going to report back to the investors because we're going to be live streaming it from inside the trailer. I heard that touched on earlier, so it's pretty cool. It's exciting.
Nice. I missed that. So you guys actually are going to be live streaming it like all the time as it's open,
all the
I guess,
time.
really?
Yeah. TikTok, that's YouTube. Awesome. I don't do Facebook, but I'm sure there's a way that Keith can bridge it over there for me. Always. And we've also got, just to touch on that, a payment, the point of sale system that we're going to be using while we're out in the little truck. We're going to have a way where all 3 of us can remotely monitor the payments that are coming in. So every transaction pops up on an app, and we're going to live stream that, as long as we can delete the sensitive information from the customers, obviously. Of course, yeah. So people can see actual money flowing into the bank account every day.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that kind of covers it all. I don't know if there's too much more to get into. This was a pretty packed full, well, not luncheon. I guess it's Lupper now. We're in between lunch and supper. So, so thanks so much for you guys. I do I really do appreciate it. And I do, I use the word a lot, but appreciate the fact that you guys are on camera, that you guys are real, and really, again, IRL stuff is something that needs to be used more often. Oh, thanks, Scott. I should have put the app in there, doing my job for me. You're muted, but so, and then the Discord, I guess you guys are, where's your guys' socials? Are they on the website? I didn't even look at that.
There's a Telegram. Yeah, we're all on we're a Telegram, and there is it on the top corner of the DAP? It was.
Okay, perfect.
There is a Telegram somewhere. I will link it. I'll put it down in the chat now.
Yeah, and what I'll do is I'll put it on the replay of this when people go to it, because I don't see it on the DAP actually right now.
No, I've just spotted it. It's not there.
Yeah, just get it. Scott can get it over to me as well, and I'll put it on the actual replay of this guy. Okay. And let me know if there's anything big, especially when you guys do actually do your first delivery. Please send it over to me. I'll do a little short on it to let everybody know that you guys are live, because I'm excited to see where this goes. As I mentioned, I think you guys earlier, and I'll mention it out loud, is I'm probably going to go ahead and do a live purchase video of some type of investment with you guys in a week or two, just to give it some time to spread it out, because I'm excited for this. I not financial advice, guys, do your own research, but all that hoopla that we have to do. But I think there's a lot of value to more of these IRL stuffs coming to light in the DeFi space, and really using the technology for the good and for what it's supposed to be used for. So yeah. I appreciate all you guys in that. If there's nothing else, I guess you guys can kind of say your goodbyes, and I'll end the broadcast here.
Thanks for having us, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, honestly.